So everything is controlled by the air. Those 5G towers they were setting up, ones they disguised look like palm trees in LA or bushes in rural areas or regular towers. They're to disrupt the frequency. This is a war of frequency. Because all there is in the matrix is energy and matter. This is also to control the masses. And this is how they get the all-seeing eye. Through this device, they're listening, they're watching right now. Before I even post this, they're listening and watching right now through all these devices. Smart watch, smartphone, smart TV. Alexa and Siri are always listening. They're always listening. And this is their all-seeing eye. But our all-seeing eye, source or God, is here. I realize everyone has a part. I realize everybody has a part here. Everybody has a part that they play. Everyone has codes and keys that break the matrix.
Plant, reinsert me into the matrix. I'll get you what you want.
Access codes to the Zion mainframe.
No, I told you I don't know them. I can get you the man who does.
Morpheus.
Everyone has their message to give and their part to do. When I seen like everything that was going on in the media, it inspired me to continue making these, and also reminded me why I started. Everything is staged. My phone is tapped illegally, and they're studying me. So I took the time to study them. The time where they made everyone go in, and we had these lockdowns, they were meant for us to separate each other. That's why we have to be 6 feet apart. Because that's the average aura depth. 6 feet in radius, 12 feet in diameter. And this is the heart, the vibration of the heart. We're meant to separate from each other. This is what they hate the most. And this is what they fear the most, the unity. Love, God. This is what they can't control. And so they manipulate people using fear tactics, using the air, what you see on media, what you see outside, what you hear in your music. This is all the programming. He's the prince of the air. But who is the king? The king of all kings. All this is for manipulation. They use witchcraft. Everything that they tell you not to indulge in or ban you from or hide from you or make taboo is what they don't want you to know about, practice, or instill in your daily life. This whole thing on weed. Why? Because it connects you with the earth. It breaks you from the matrix, puts you in a spiritual state, allows you to think and meditate. That's why they started making GMO weed. But now they don't need it. They give you all kinds of substances. But every drug they created, I learned when I studied pharmacology, it came from Mother Earth, from the plants, until they altered the chemical structure, making it a drug and making pharmaceuticals. I didn't even know until today that Rashad Jamal, his real name is Rashad Jamal White. And it made me like, I was just like, what? Because I was listening to one of his videos. Because my real name, or my government name, is Ian Anthony White. I named myself Eon Eternity. People could never spell mine, or not spell, even spell it or pronounce it. They would always say Eon or Ion, and I found out the meaning of Eon, and I know that I belong to eternity. And so this is the name I gave myself. But I've come to realize this is how they lynch people now. They set them up. They hire actors or spies, hitmen, people to play along, people to frame. And they do this within their community. And if you notice, like, before they arrested Jamal, they arrested him before, but they couldn't hold him. They didn't have anything on him. But this was a test. Because they feared his large following, everybody was following him, and they were actually listening to what he had to say. And he was saying things that the government doesn't want you to hear. And they tested first. And then they framed it. How do they do it? How they always do it. They use people close to you. See, they approach you directly. They come in many different forms. Why? Because everybody needs money. Everybody wants to be accepted or be put in a position where they could receive money and fame and their desires. And so people operating in that matrix could typically be bought. And this is why Morpheus tells Neo, when you're looking at the girl in the red dress, because she could be one of their escorts or spies. The reason they frame you first is because they have to give the public a show. And this is their way of creating an alibi. for their wrongdoings. Also, to convince the jury and the judge and the masses. Because sometimes the jury and the judge don't want to hear you. It's mainly for the masses, to appease them. Now, we all know when Sonya Massey got shot, he didn't have to do that. We also know that he instructed her to go to the boiling pot of water. And then after he said, everything's okay, all right, thanks, he pried his way inside. And then he positioned her for a killer shot. And he wasn't remorseful, if you listen to the whole tape. He wasn't fearing for his life either. A boiling pot of hot water. At 6 feet of distance. That you told her to go turn off at the stove. You had to fire up. You had to fire your gun. But this is for the masses, to appease them. Because that's the thing about the government. Government. Mind control. Government. Police. They tell you everything is free. The land is free. The speech is free. Everything is free but to live. You're free to do what you want, as long as it doesn't go against their order. That's what they're really after. The minds that will break the matrix. The light bringers. Bringers of the truth, knowledge, wisdom, insight. Why? Because this awakens people. And you're supposed to be busy at the 9 to 5, taking prescriptions that don't cure the diseases and illnesses that they tell you have. And this is the reason this is the epidemic. Mental disorders. That's the epidemic now. Mental disorders. Mind illness. If you don't go along with the order, with the New World Order, they target you. This is why they gang stalk you. They send their agents. They send them to implement you, to spy on you, gather knowledge, intel. But once they decide that you're a threat to the matrix or the system, that's when they begin policing you. And they control all of social media. They alter the algorithms. When you get the eye that's closed, they say this is false knowledge. So they blank it off for you if you're scrolling. They lower it in the feed. They can even ban you for speaking on certain things. And this is why they want to take away TikTok. It's not about because they were